and trying to make it 3 in a row as they start that road trip. Time now for Brian's Baller. And, Brian, what direction are you going tonight?
Well, we didn't get the extraordinary help from someone off the bench tonight, but we did get an extraordinary effort from one of our starters, and I think that's Wendell Carter Jr. I thought Wendell was really big tonight. Obviously finished with 23 points, 9 of 14 from the floor. He starts knocking down a couple of threes, 2 for 4 from behind the line. Did his usual job on the glass with 7 rebounds, but he did the job at the defensive end of the floor and was really big tonight offensively, as I mentioned, a 23-point effort. We haven't seen a 20-point game from Wendell in a while, and especially here at home.
Well, it's his, going to go back to December 16th. He hasn't had a 20-point game, and it's his third 20-point game of the season, so a terrific job out of him. So right now we'll get a look at our final stats here tonight. A good win. The numbers are good when you get a victory like you did here tonight. Nick, you shoot 51%. You survive on a night where Toronto shoots 52%, but you shoot 51%, knock down those 17 threes.
Well, that percentage comes from the defense, and when you play good defense, here comes good offense. And that's what happened that second half. The good ball movement, the hands in the paint, the steals, getting out on the break. And you have to just give the credit to the defense that made that offense. And look at those percentages.
Yep.
Those percentages come from playing good defense.
Coach, you had 44 points in the fourth quarter. The franchise record is 45. You were one off. That's the kind of night you had. I mean, not typical. 44 points in the fourth quarter is something special.
Oh, that's big. And you have to make shots, obviously.
Yes, right.
And what was big was we went 6 for 9 from behind the line in that fourth quarter. And that was huge, as I mentioned, with Desmond Bane going 4 for 4. But, that's a huge quarter. But as Nick stated, it started with the defense.
Yep, right.
We completely shut down their points in the paint and their fast break points in that fourth quarter. And then we were able to get out and get much better looks at the basket. Yeah. And a big thing, getting to the free throw line. 37 free throw attempts in a game is huge.
No, it's huge. You guys love it. You guys light up when we talk about the defense. Defense leading to offense, and it worked here tonight.
It works every time. There's no doubt about it.
That's a recipe for success. It certainly was here tonight. Magic win, you win too, with Papa John's Pizza. Enjoy the savings. They earned every bit of that victory and that pizza. Taking down the Toronto Raptors. Toronto was rolling at the end of the third quarter, but the Magic stormed back, win this one by 10. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Jamal Mosley in a moment. Great come-from-behind victory against the Raptors. They're now 1 game apiece, the Magic and Toronto. That's going to be huge with 1 game left in that series. Could be big for tiebreaker implications here down the stretch. 130-120 is the final. Time now for our good Greek moves of the game. And for that, Nick, how about Anthony Black here tonight? He put on a few nice moves.
Well, he's elevated his game in all aspects. He's being aggressive, getting to the basket, using that size at 6'7". Here, hey, I'll take that nice little dunk there and moving the ball. And his shot, I must speak on his shot. He's shooting the ball silky smooth. He's not hesitating anymore. He's going directly into his shot.
Back-to-back 25-plus nights, Coach. 26 in Miami, 25 tonight. What else jumps out about his night tonight?
Well, obviously, look at the percentages there. 11 of 19. 5 for 11. That's pretty good percentage from the floor. And anytime you go 4 for 7 from behind the line like you did tonight, and then 14 for 14 from the free throw line. I'm sorry, 4 for 7 against Miami.
Right.
And then 14 of 14 tonight. The fact that he's getting to the line that many times just means he's being really, really aggressive and attacking the rim.
Well, he said after the game in Miami, that was his mindset. You saw that mentality. He was in attack mode in Miami, and that continued here tonight. And again, different team with Jalen back, making threes, an aggressive Anthony Black, an aggressive Wendell Carter Jr. Great recipes for success. What else added up to the victory? Let's hear from the head coach of the Orlando Magic, Jamal Mosley.
Coach, your group put together quite the fourth quarter. What did you see out of them, and especially in the final frame?
Yeah, I thought we executed down the stretch and held them to 6 fast break points in that second half, which I thought was great. Just being able to find the matchups that we needed, intentional in our work. But again, that fourth quarter was very special for our guys.
the starting lineup had 100 of the 30 points, or 114 of the 130 points. What was working for that group when they were on the floor together? And
I just think they were just finding each other, finding the right things. If you notice in moments, it was one time it was AB, one time it was Jalen, one time it was Paolo, one time it was Des, and then the unsung hero to me in this is Wendell Carter Jr. Didn't say a word, guarded how he needed to guard, rebounded when he needed to rebound, and then he got rewarded, just for being underneath the basket, but he never said a word. He just did his job, which he does every single night consistently, and that's what we continue to need from him.
Kind of on that, you turned to that group to open the fourth quarter, and they essentially played the entire fourth quarter except for maybe a minute and a half when Tristan was in for Jalen. What went behind the decision of turning to them early, down 13 entering the quarter, and how do you think?
Just being able to sustain that run, that they went on a run there, and just trying to get those guys back in the game because of how they had been playing. Just being able to make sure we sustained it, got ourselves back in it, and then the energy that those guys brought, I thought was fantastic. So, again, those guys did a heck of a job, withstanding the run and then coming back from it.
You mentioned this was a heck of a fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like what can a win like this do for a team's confidence and kind of building momentum at this stage of the season?
Well, I think it just continues to say what we're capable of doing. You look at the other night, the quarter we held them to 20 and scored 40. I think it's those things when you understand exactly how good you can be in these moments. What you have to do is we can sit and watch this and learn from it. What were the things that allowed us to be successful here? And that was sharing and moving the basketball, playing with intention, getting back in transition, and keeping them out of the early easy baskets.
With the minutes restriction for Jalen, how tough was it to take him out, keep him on? I mean, what was just
might have bumped up maybe a minute and a half or so.
What difference does he make? I mean,
you saw what he did. You saw what he did. His energy, and we've said it about him time and time again, his energy is infectious, and what he does for these guys and this group and this fan base and this crowd, like he gets everybody going, and it starts with his defense. And then there was just some offensive plays. I'm going to have to go back and look at the film and see exactly what he did for that dump off to Dell. But I think he just does so many things that are just winning plays in these moments.
Coach, season high threes for Des, makes and attempts. Was that quick trigger assertiveness just part of his mentality, his approach tonight? Was that part of the game plan? And what does that generally, when he has a quick trigger like that, do for this Magic offense?
Love it for him. Love that for him. And he understood the coverages where guys were on him, getting to his shot. But I think, he was shooting close to 10 last year in Memphis, and I think that's when he's at his best clip. And for us to be able to continue to find him in these situations says a lot about our guys, and him being able to let that thing go is huge.
Coach, at the beginning of the season, you said that there would be probably about half the season spent on determining a rotation and determining which players will likely be in that consistent rotation. No minutes for Goga Bitadze tonight, no minutes for Jace Richardson. What goes into the decision of taking guys out of the lineup versus keeping them in?
That's a great question. The first part of that is, you're banking on it not having an injury-riddled season. And so now that those guys get minutes, when guys are out, they're bumping back in. And so just what goes into it is now it's going to be about matchups, different times, different rotations, different guys. It's going to have to be that for now down the stretch, because any given night it can be somebody else's number called. Like we said with the starters, well, next night it might be somebody else that comes off the bench and gives a big spark. So guys just have to stay ready, for the remainder of this year, of the regular season.
Pre-game, I asked you how challenging it can be to stay the course and not get frustrated over the balance of 82 games. What about within 48 minutes? Because the way the third quarter ended, it could have been a moment where Toronto runs away with it. So what is the message at the end of the third quarter to regather and get back on track?
Stay the course. I think that's what you just said. It's a 48-minute game. It's not won or lost necessarily in that third quarter. Now, they had their momentum swing, and that's what you say in huddles. They had their run. We've had our run. And so now we got to go into this fourth quarter and do the right thing and go on our run. So understanding that game's not over till that final horn goes off, and our guys played that way, and that's what you saw in the run that we went on.
There you go, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. And Coach, I'm always amazed by the breakdown from a coach after a game. The game within the game, the adjustments that you have to make, the rotations, when you bring a guy back, when you don't. I mean, there were 7 games that happened within the one game here tonight.
Yeah, well, he mentioned it. A lot of it depends on matchups. Sure. Depending upon who Toronto has on the floor, you might want a different sub to come in and match up with somebody. And the question that was asked, which was interesting. Because of the injuries we've had to play guys that maybe normally wouldn't even be in the rotation. A Noah Penda, a Jace Richardson.
Yep, that's right.
But now those guys have valuable minutes because they have played. Right. They may not play for a while when we get totally healthy, especially when Franz comes back. Right. They may not get any minutes. But then if something happens or we need them in a game, at least as a coach what they can do when they go out there because they've given you minutes earlier in the year with all the injuries that you've had.
Well, it's valuable. You don't get a time to put the practice time in that you'd like, but you got some game time action that you can call on if you need it here down the stretch. More coming your way here on Magic Live, the post-game show, including what lies ahead for this Orlando Magic team. They leave tomorrow for a 2-game road trip. They're going to try to make it 3 in a row coming up here on Sunday. Magic win by 10. Fans are happy. Final thought next. Magic win improved to 25-22 on the season. They downed the Raptors 130-120. Get a look at our Toyota road ahead. And Nick, your reward for these last 2 wins is to go to San Antonio and play the second best team in the Western Conference, led by Victor Wembanyama.
Good young team. Obvious, big fella is going to make his presence be felt, but this is a good young team, up and coming. Very dangerous, especially at home. So it's going to be another challenge for our good old Magic team, and I think they'll be up for it.
I think so. I think they're feeling good. They're playing much better basketball. And, Brian, the key to going into San Antonio and continuing this style of play, how do you grab a victory there?
Well, it's not going to be easy playing them, on their home court, obviously, and they're playing extremely well. But it's got to start at the defensive end, and you have to have a game plan for Wembanyama because he's going to be out on the perimeter a lot, shooting a lot of threes, and he's going to be around the basket trying to block a lot of shots, which he can do. But it has to start at the defensive end of the floor, and then you let your defense create some offense for you. And then making sure that you get good offensive execution like we did tonight. And oh, by the way, if you can make a lot of threes like we did tonight, then you always have a chance.
I love that. We've established that, and we've also established what's your response when the trainer says Nick's got to come out? He's played too many minutes?
No, he's good. He's good. He told me he was good, so he's good to go.
We had a conversation. We're good. You go ahead and stay in there, Nick. We established that.
Minutes restriction? What is that?
Say what now?
After you. That's exactly right. All right, good stuff, good victory. Let's go to San Antonio and keep it rolling. That'll be next for the Orlando Magic, taking on the San Antonio Spurs, the first in a 2-game road trip. They will then visit OKC right after that. But a terrific victory tonight, a thriller, as the Magic take down the Toronto Raptors 130-120. You get 32 points from Desmond Bane, and you get 25 from Anthony Black, and another double-double from Paolo Banchero. Next up, the San Antonio Spurs. That comes your way in just a couple of days. Thanks to Ty Easton, Greg Hartung, our terrific crew. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Sunday.